how to whistle?
No, I don't, but that worked.
See you, George. G'day, and welcome back to another great episode of Pooches at Play.
We've got a feature-packed show full of plenty of great tips and ideas to help you with your pooch.
So grab a cuppa, sit back and relax, and don't forget to give your furry friend a hug from me.
Chris, we've been talking about the benefits of feeding your pet a raw food diet. However, it is essential, isn't it, that we get the nutrient balance correct, otherwise we could be doing more harm than good.
Yeah, absolutely it is. There's a lot of DIYs out there that really do stress and worry about whether they've got the correct ratios.
So what are some of the key ingredients that we need here?
Okay, so we're talking about carnivores.
Yes.
Most importantly is your muscle meat. A good selection of offal. Here we've got kidneys today, but you can be using livers or spleens or anything like that. And certainly we need some crushed bone in there as well.
Yes,
so we've got a nice little chicken crushed bone mix there. And not everybody wants to use fruit and veg in it, but however, I like to include fruit and veg in it because there's an excellent level of antioxidants and fibre and enzymes and that go in there as well.
And so where do we get these ingredients from to make sure they're the best that we're feeding our dog?
Yeah, so your meat products you can buy from your local butcher. They'll always supply some sort of ground up chicken mince, so that's really easy from a crushed bone point of view.
Yes.
Some of your muscle meat as well you can buy from the butchers or your local pet store as well.
If we wanted to do this ourselves at home and we've got all the ingredients here, how would we get the right mix together?
Yeah, so most importantly, we'll grab the crushed bone first because the crushed bone is supplying the calcium, and the calcium phosphorus ratio is so very important.
Yes.
So we're always looking from a bone point of view about 10 to 15% in the total diet.
Okay.
Now, so what I've got here is 300 grams. Let's say we're making 1 kilo of product. I've got 300 grams here of a crushed chicken mix. So it's got roughly 50% bone, 50% meat.
Okay.
And that's going to give me my 15% over a kilo.
All right.
So 150 grams. So my crushed bone goes in.
Yes.
Next will be my offal. Now, offal is roughly about 10%. If it's liver and kidneys, and liver are a powerhouse of nutrients, especially that's where we get our vitamins more so. But there's minerals in there as well. But if you've only got liver or kidneys, only work on about 10%. If you've got other offals like your brains or spleens or anything like that, you can actually increase your percentages.
I've got extra brains.
You do, you do. But for today, we're just going to work on a 10% percentage as well. So we've got a 30% there of our crushed bone. We've got 10% there, that's 40%. So then we're chasing, we've got 60% left of meat, boneless meat. But I've also got some hearts there as well.
Okay.
The consistency of the nutritional profile is very similar to muscle meat. So I actually include that in there with part of our muscle meat. However, there are people out there who want to add veggies to it. I like to add the veggies into it as well.
Of course.
It's an easy way of getting it more antioxidants in, flavonoids, carotenoids coming out, enzymes, fibre, moisture, the whole lot. So we put that in there at about 10% as well.
Okay.
So 10%, 30%, 10%, that's going to allow.
And how do we mix it all together?
Well, you can feed just how it is, except for the veggies. Obviously, you need a NutriBullet or a blending machine or something to get it to a pulp consistency to assist with the digestion.
Right.
Dogs just don't have that enzyme that can really break down a lot of that cellulose there.
Yes,
So.
that's why if you give them carrots and corn and stuff, sometimes you see it at the other end.
Absolutely.
So you need to liquefy it.
We do, a pulp as much as we can.
Yep, okay.
And that just helps that digest. They've got a smaller digestive tract than us, so we assist that as well. So we pulp that, and then you can add your bone mix in with it. You can add this just on top as is. You've got a mincer at home, which most people don't. You could mince it all together.
Go shopping?
Yeah, if you wanted to, but however, like this is absolutely fine for the dogs.
All right, but there are some easier options really, aren't there?
Well, that was all a mouthful, but you can leave it to us.
Dog.
Absolutely.
That's my easy option.
That's exactly right. We could just go there as well. All of this and the percentages and the formulation I've just said is pretty well tied up in here and is available in a 250 gram patty. It's really quite convenient.
Well, that sounds really good, and I actually, took a leaf out of your book and made this myself. I'm pretty sure I've got everything into it. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. It looks like a really good, consistent mix.
I think I've done a great job.
Well done, Lara.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can check out all the Pooches at Play antics, competitions and more on our social media pages.
We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
George and Darcy would love you to check out their Instagram pages as well.
Yeah, they've got a way to go before they become Insta Pooches. Sorry, guys.
They're still very cute.
They are. Trish, we've got a multiple dog household issue going on here. We've got Pippa, who is 9. We've got Missy, who's 13, 2 Jack Russells. They've always had a few issues. Pippa always has since adolescent, but now it's gotten to the point that Missy is really avoiding Pippa. Pippa is really attacking Missy at times. We've got resource guarding going on. We've got a family that doesn't know what to do. Being the multiple dog household expert, I think this is a job for you.
Thanks very much for that info, Lara. I will see what I can do.
Good. Now, I walk these girls, so it could set off a fight, so it's best I get an expert for the job. You should always get the right trainer when you've got a serious issue going on. So Trish is definitely the lady for this one.
So, Tanya, Lara's just filled me in with the situation between Pippa and Missy. Can you explain to me, has the fighting become worse over time?
Yes, it has. It's escalated from probably when Pippa was an adolescent and just recently having moved house and a bit more coming and going, I'd say it's amped up quite a bit.
Okay. How often would they fight at this point?
At the moment, we're probably seeing it 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what's going on around us.
Okay.
Yes.
And can you give me an example of maybe the last fight that they've had?
Yes. This particular time, Pippa had slept in the bedroom on the floor in my room and Missy in the bedroom of one of my daughters. And when Missy came to the hallway, I saw her step back, not even really having Pippa in, eye shot. And then all of a sudden we're all in the hallway together and then the fight was on.
Okay.
So it was just a combination of a lot of people being in the one spot. Yeah.
I would dare say that had a big element of resource guarding there. So when you have one dog sleeping in the bedroom and the other's not, then that obviously is a resource to that dog. So that really needs to change very soon.
Yes.
Either both dogs are allowed in the room to sleep or no dogs are allowed in the room to sleep.
I often see Missy sort of stepping back and I feel sorry for her. I'm just wondering, are there any techniques about how do I make her feel happy, about herself?
Yeah, so the Simon Says technique automatically will help with that. So it's pretty much like what it says, Simon Says. And so the dogs have to wait their turn to be called, be patted. The other dog has to wait, and then you can finish patting, say, dog A, and then you can call dog B over and pat that dog. And by doing that, you are teaching the dogs a little bit of impulse control, and you are controlling who actually gets the access to the resource, which is yourself, to say hello. The other thing it'll do is it'll result in a calmer greeting rather than the frantic jumping up greetings that you may have.
Yes, that would be good.
The other way is once you start putting in some good rules and boundaries, she'll feel a little bit more confident, especially when you are controlling the resources a little bit more. You'll find that will be an automatic progression once you start putting the exercises and implement the strategies.
Okay.
You ready to give it a go?
I sure am. That'd be great. Lovely. Thanks, Trish.
You're welcome.
I'm here with the fantastically fabulous Rhonda Burchmore. Hi, Rhonda.
Hello, beautiful man.
Who have we got here?
We have got Zorro.
Hello, Zorro. You are a very handsome man.
Oh, yes, he's in desperate need of a groom.
Well, it's a bit kind of scruffy chic, isn't it?
It is.
I can see he's got his, what do you call
He's got
this?
his man bun on,
Man
which
bun.
is pretty trendy.
And is this Jean-Paul Gaultier?
Yes, he kind of
As you do on a Sunday afternoon.
follows in Mummy's footsteps, likes a bit of designer, likes a bit of
Doesn't mind a bit of fashion.
He loves a bit of fashion and he loves a bit of celebrity too.
Absolutely. Tell me some stories about his celebrity crushes.
Well, he has crushes on every time the grand final of The Voice. He's got a thing for the judges. He does a very good Delta impersonation. Kylie Minogue, Kelly Rowland even actually.
Oh, yeah.
We posted and Kelly's a big fan now. She follows. Puts on the wigs, puts on the dresses. It's probably my...
So he dresses up as the hosts.
And it's the pathetic mum that kind of, organises the wigs, but he dresses up and he actually quite enjoys
How did he go
up.
being Seal with all this hair all over him?
Oh, well, we had to put on a bit of a magic skull cap.
He wore a skull cap?
To get the nude illusion. But this guy, though, he's the friendliest kind of big teddy bear you would ever wish for, even though, he scares the dickens out of a lot of people just because of his size, but he's a big teddy who dresses very stylishly.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on the stage again, Rhonda, and I'm going to keep my eyes out for Zorro on the next runway at Fashion Week.
Oh, Fashion Week, indeed.
He's just too handsome. Hey, Lara, you know the first night I got George, he was 8 weeks old, brand new puppy. He got really sick. He was vomiting everywhere, coughing, diarrhea, so I had to take him to the emergency vet. Apparently he had a parasite of some
not
sort.
good.
Yeah, and the vet said he would have died that night if I hadn't taken him. But the biggest surprise was the $1,000 bill I got the next day.
Oh, I'm guessing if it was the first day that you didn't have pet insurance.
Of course I didn't, and so I need to learn more about it.
Well, I must admit, when I got Darcy, I didn't think about it until I got Darcy, and I thought, is he a bit too old to insure? But luckily, with HIF, he isn't.
Right. So how would I set George up with HIF? Is it pretty simple? Do I need to get his whole medical history on paper, or?
No, you don't need it all now, and in fact it's really simple. I'll show you here. Basically, all we have to do is go online and we can get a quote. All you need to do is you need to put in the full history of illnesses and injuries that George has had, and you don't need to send in all the paperwork right now, which is handy.
Well, what about Darcy? He's adopted. He's only been with you for a year or so. You don't have all of his history.
I don't have hardly any of his history. And luckily though, HIF does understand that people do adopt dogs, so I basically, if anything was to happen, I just need to show them when I got him and any medical history that I have since then, really.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we know the age, breed. We just put in their breed.
What did you put down for Darcy?
Well, his microchip does say that he's a Maltese cross toy poodle. A multi-poo. So I just had to go with that.
Right, and George is a Cocker Spaniel.
And even if you don't know their age, at least, you can just give an honest estimate, or a vet can usually tell by their teeth.
Okay, well, George is 4. I know that for a fact. So can I still get him top level of cover?
You sure can. The cut-off age to start middle or top level of cover with HIF is 9 years old. So, yeah, the part of the reason they have a cut-off age is because a dog at that age has probably had some pre-existing conditions.
Right, so it's just like humans. You can't just sign up, claim, and then disappear again.
Exactly. It makes it a bit unfair on everyone else, doesn't it, really? So, that's why it applies across all insurance companies, so there's no point shopping and changing around, and it just makes sure it's fair for everyone.
And what about dog breeds? We know some are more susceptible to certain illnesses than others.
Yep, no, that doesn't matter with HIF either. It just comes back to whether they've had a pre-existing condition or not.
All right, and how much do I get back if I make a claim?
Well, it's up to you. So if you were to say, okay, when you do your form and we want to put in 80%, say, then when you get your vet bill back, you'll get 80% of the eligible expenses back.
Okay, so how much do you pay for Darcy?
About the same as 2 to 3 coffees a week.
Or 2 to 3 iced soy chai lattes?
Not that much. Anyway, the peace of mind is definitely worth it though.
Yes, peace of mind is important. I don't want anything happening to George because we can't have Darcy being the only star of the show. No, okay.
Can't. There you go.
So, can you order iced soy chai lattes on this?
No, it's a quote form.
If you're looking for a dog-friendly cafe in the heart of Melbourne, then go no further than the Gap Cafe on King Street. It's only a short frisbee throw from the city CBD. The Gap Cafe is the first in Melbourne to have a greyhound theme. And unlike most other cafes in the city, dogs are allowed inside the premises as well as in the outdoor area. The cafe provides a showcase for Greyhound Racing Victoria's adoption program and helps promote animal welfare. You can come in, have a coffee, order your pooch a puppuccino, pat a dog, and even register to adopt a greyhound. The Gap Cafe is situated just opposite Flagstaff Gardens and is open 7 days a week. And you don't even need to own a greyhound either. All dog breeds are welcome. It's a great opportunity to come in and learn about this beautiful breed, who despite their amazing running prowess are actually very lazy, affectionate and low maintenance pet. Aren't you? You're low maintenance. When it comes to heavenly holidays, it's hard to go past Reflections Holiday Park's Evans Head. Just 2 hours from Brisbane and 10 minutes off the Pacific Highway, this lovely park is close to everything, yet a million miles from the daily grind. And when it comes to heavenly pursuits, Evans Head has plenty to choose from. The dog-friendly Evans Head Holiday Park is one of the largest parks in New South Wales, with self-contained cabins and sites for caravans and campers, so there's plenty of room for clubs and groups. Searching for a place to spend a few nights in Victoria? Then jump online and take a look at Rejuvenate Stays. They offer quality, short-term rental accommodation in some of the most beautiful locations across the state. Take the family to Inverloch for a beach escape, or book a place at the Moto Grand Prix on Phillip Island. You can relax in a city apartment between meetings, or host a family reunion in a Federation-era homestead. There are plenty of places to choose between, many of which welcome your furry friend along for the night. For more pet-friendly accommodation and places to go, Visit takeyourpet.com.au. We all like to maintain a certain level of appearance, and if you're anything like Darcy here, you appreciate some regular grooming. Now, before you all ask, where's George? Why isn't he getting a bath? It's very clear that Darcy is the ambassador of scruff, so he needs it most. Besides, George rolled in something hideous the other day and he's already had a bath. Colleen, what's it like being a groomer?
It's a very rewarding job. We get to meet and play with and make friends with lots of different dogs, and they always feel so much better when we're all finished giving them a haircut and a bath.
Do you get any weird requests like dreadlocks or purple hair?
We get a lot of mohawk requests, either on the head or down the body. Not only really works on some dogs, but we can also put hair chalk in your dog's hair to give them a fancy new colour, or put some really cool nail polish on their nails.
So obviously there's a bath and a cut. What else happens in the process?
So when your dog comes in for a groom, we'll give them a quick brush over to make sure they don't have any knots. We'll give them a nice comb through and a de-shed, and we'll pop them in the bath to have a nice scrub and get them all clean. Once they're all clean and dry, we'll give them a big clip, get all that dead hair off and make them look pretty. But it always finishes with a brush and a comb through to make sure we're not sending your dog home with any knots, as well as a little nail trim to make sure they're not scratching up your floor.
Well, good luck with Darcy. Now, what about puppies? When's the best time to start the grooming process with them?
So the best time is as soon as they've had their vaccinations and they're safe to be out in the outside world. The earlier we start, the better they tend to behave because they're so impressionable when they're puppies. If we start early and grooming becomes something that just happens instead of this really scary thing that happens all of a sudden at 6 months, then they're much better behaved for us here and they're much better behaved for you at home.
Speaking of home, in between our regular visits, what can I do to look after him at home?
So when you're at home with your dog, it's really important that you brush their hair. The best general rule we find is that the length of your dog's hair for every centimetre, that's how many times a week you should be brushing. So if we've got a body that's got 1 centimetre of hair, that's 1 time a week at a minimum. But if you've got ears that are 7 centimetres long, then you want to be brushing every day just to make sure they're not getting any knots. It's also quite important that you play with your dog's feet so they're used to their feet being handled, and also around their face and their mouth to make sure they're not going to be scared of anything happening.
All right, great tips. All right, Darcy, I'm going to leave you with Colleen and let's see if she can scrub away your scruff. For more information on grooming, visit petstock.com.au. Oh, check you out, Darce. Look at your mohawk. Putting the tuft back into scruff. Lara won't even recognise him.
I'm here with Terry and the gorgeous Ruby. Now, Terry, you've been working with Rottweilers for a while. How did you get into that?
Well, I started training dogs and I just fell in love with the breed at a school I was going, and I found that in the pounds they were actually getting put down if they showed a bit of aggression, etc., which I felt I could help them with, which over the years I've been very satisfactory with. And I found even with the aggression, whatever it is, within a week, I find we can get full control of them, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions, isn't it? You know, one time these dogs were so popular, just like a lot of breeds are. They become the flavour of the month or the year, and then, you know, there's big stories around them, and then they sort of go off, and then there's another breed that then becomes a dangerous breed. But they are a beautiful dog. What do you love about them?
Well, they're just so easy to train, and they love learning, they love people. And I do think it's a factor if one of these gets into a discussion somewhere, it's really over exaggerated.
Yes.
It's just so easy to turn them around. Ruby I've only had for 3 months and she does just about pretty anything I ask her to do.
Do you want to give us a little
She'll
demonstration?
Drop, sit, drop. Good girl. Up.
Doggy aerobics.
Wait. Stand. Way, good pup.
Well, Ruby, you are adorable. And I'm sure you won't mind, Terry, but what I'm thinking...
We're going to have a fight here.
Yeah, I think she should come home with me.
I've got the cabana.
Oh, that's all right. Come on, Ruby, let's go. You're with me. Oh, it's a fight. Oh, you can never lose to cabana.
Hey,
Oh, hello.
came as soon as you called. What's up?
How is your new lawn going?
Well, it's horrible, like I said. There's burn marks all over it from George's wee.
Exactly. I thought I would introduce you to Dog Rocks.
Dog rocks? What do they do?
Well, they're a type of natural rock that takes out all the impurities in the tap water.
That's pretty cool.
I know, they've been around for like 15 years. They're Australian made.
So you just put the rock in the dog water?
Yeah, this 200 gram pack you'd put in, you'd basically rinse them off. I'll show you. You rinse that off and then you take about 2 litres of water, put it in, and every 2 months you change your water. Voila, no more burn marks.
Does it affect George's wee?
No, it doesn't affect the pH levels at all. It literally takes out all those nasty chemicals and that's what works.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So besides Pet Stock, where else can I get them?
You can get them online and other leading retailers as well.
Rock on. Rock and roll.
It's always a joke.
Would you like to win a Pawsome prize pack valued at $3,000 for you and your furry friend? Thanks to our wonderful partners, one lucky viewer is going to win a $500 Pet Stock gift voucher, a year's supply of Glow dog food, $500 worth of Big Dog pet products, a year's supply of VitaPet treats, $200 worth of Grooming pet products, and for you, an amazing $500 massage and wellbeing voucher from HIF. All you have to do is tell us the name of a dog that has appeared in one of our Pooches at Play segments and why your pooch deserves to win. It's that easy. We also have 10 $50 Pet Stock gift vouchers with a Take Your Pet travel pack to give away for runners-up. To enter, visit the Pooches at Play website. Well, that brings us to the end of another great episode of Pooches at Play.
We hope you enjoyed the show and learned a little more about how to improve your life with your pooch.
If you'd like to learn more about today's episode, check out our website and don't forget to follow us on Facebook.
And most importantly, don't forget to join us same time, same place next week. Yeah, you're going to be here, aren't you, mate?